guys, what's up? Welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to be doing an MCU Heroes tier list because now with Shang-Chi out in theaters worldwide, we have a brand new hero to talk about, and I've never done an MCU tier list before, so I also do want to do more of these. So if you guys enjoy these videos, make sure to hit that like button down below. Also, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any time I upload a new video or I go live. But without wasting more time, let's get right into it. So this tier list has 5 different tiers. It has bad, meh, good, great, and best of the best. So without wasting more time, I do want to hop right into it. So starting off with Sharon Carter. I think Sharon Carter is just meh. I would put her at bad, but she was fairly decent in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I just think she's not the best, really. I don't think she's the best character, to be honest. Like, I'm excited to see where her character goes because we know at the end of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, she was on the phone with someone. I think Marvel's cooking her up to do some big stuff, but honestly, I'm just not a fan of her character right now. But next up is our newest introductee to the MCU, Shang-Chi. I'm going to put him at best of the best already. I think Simu Liu is one of the best actors in the MCU when it comes to charisma. I love his personality of the character. I love the movie overall. If you haven't already checked out my spoiler-free or spoiler review, make sure to do that. It's somewhere on the channel. I've already posted them. And also, I have another video coming up very soon talking more about the movie because I love it so much. I love Simu Liu as Shang-Chi, and I just love the whole lore of Shang-Chi. I can't wait to see him in more Marvel projects. And the post-credit scene in the movie, quick spoilers, but they set him up to be an Avenger, which I'm super excited for. But the next one is Baby Groot. Now, I like Groot as a character, but Baby Groot I'm not the biggest fan of. I'm going to put Baby Groot himself at good, but I think adult Groot I think he's great, almost best of the best. Just because, also, I think Teenage Groot is just annoying. I don't really like Teenage Groot. Gamora, I'm gonna put her at good as well. I think her character has good development, but she did die in Endgame. I don't know how they're gonna bring her character back. If they're gonna bring her character back, I don't know what the plan is there, but we'll see with that. Yondu, I want to put him at best of the best, but I just feel like he didn't have a big enough impact, I guess, or he's not a big enough character. So I'm gonna put him at great. He made me cry multiple times during Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, and I'm absolutely in love with him, in love with the character. I think he's just such a great character. Next up is Red Guardian. I would put Red Guardian at good. I think Red Guardian's a really funny character. I liked him in Black Widow. He was probably my like second favorite part of Black Widow. I really liked Yelena. So I think that Red Guardian's a really good part of Black Widow. I hope we get to see more of him in the future. I don't know if we will, but I would love to. I think he's a great character. Next up is Mobius. I think Mobius is a phenomenal character. I love him in Loki. I'm going to put him at good. I wish he just had more screen time, honestly, and I can't wait to see what they do with him in season 2. I'm excited because I really do like his character. I just don't really know what direction they're going to go in with him, but overall, I'm hyped for his character, see where he goes in the future of the Loki show, obviously. Next up, we have Hulk. Now, there's different versions of Hulk. Professor Hulk, I'll put at bad. Kind of like the smart-ish version of Hulk, I'll put at meh. Like, basically like Bruce Banner, I guess I'll put at meh. But Avengers 1, Age of Ultron, even slightly Thor Ragnarok, that Hulk is actually great in my opinion. So, the majority outrules all the minorities. So, I'm going to basically just put Hulk in gray. I think Hulk is a great character on its own. I do think that they're doing a pretty massive rewrite, especially with what we saw in Shang-Chi, no spoilers, but yeah. Next up is Darcy. Thing is, I think Darcy got most of her fan base, I guess you would call it, from WandaVision. So I'm going to have to put her at bad. That's our first bad character of the day. I just really don't think she's an interesting character. But next up is Captain America, the new Captain America, Sam Wilson. I'm putting him at best of the best. I love Sam's arc. I can't wait to see what he does in Captain America 4. Also, that suit is so clean. It's just so nice. Like, I love the white, and I love how it matches the shield. I also love the goggles. I love how everything matches. It's like Captain America X Falcon, which I really do love, and I honestly adore that. But next up is Loki. I think Loki's a great character. I think he's had good development from the beginning of the MCU to the middle and now towards his, I don't know if his arc's really ending because there's a Loki season 2, but I'm just excited to see where his character goes from here. And yeah, next up is, I think his name is Talos. I don't even know, to be honest. I'm going to put him at meh. He has that family arc, which is kind of cool in Captain Marvel, where he kind of wants to save his family, and he turns out to be a bad guy at the end, and then the Skrulls are taking over Secret Invasion. He'll probably go up to good by like Secret Invasion time, but as of now, he's just meh. Wong, on the other hand, I think Wong is just a good character. I don't think there's much that a side character like Wong can do. He's going to be in a lot of Marvel projects. He's in Shang-Chi. He's going to be in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. He's going to be in Spider-Man No Way Home. He's going to be in a lot of stuff, and I'm excited to see how he connects to everything. And I loved him in Shang-Chi, actually. I really did. I love Benedict Wong's performance as Wong, and I just think he's awesome. Next up is Black Widow, Natasha Romanoff herself. Honestly, I don't think she's best of the best. I think her character is way too underdeveloped for being in the MCU this long. And honestly, I just think her movie was kind of mid. I'd have it at like a 6.5 out of 10. I really didn't like it. I'm gonna have to put her at great just because she's been in the MCU for so long. But if she wasn't in the MCU for the time that she's been in, I would just put her in good, maybe even meh. Her character development is honestly just disappointing. But next up is Chadwick Boseman's Black Panther. This is the best of the best in my opinion. R.I.P. Chadwick Boseman, but this character is absolutely legendary. Depending on if they keep his character going or if they move the mantle or if they just kill off the character itself in the franchise, I don't care, because the character that Chadwick Boseman played will always be a different character. It'll always be a unique character, and I do love this character so much. Seeing him in Civil War for the first time was just magic to my eyes. I literally love his character. No matter the situation, no matter the movie, no matter what cameo, I love him. I love him in Infinity War as well and Endgame when he walks the portal with Okoye. It's just also awesome. Next up is Captain America. This is obviously best of the best. I mean, I love Captain America. You guys know me. If you guys follow me on TikTok, I defend Captain America with all my heart. I think Steve Rogers' Captain America is an almost perfect character. I love his arc throughout the MCU and the Infinity Saga. And as much as I love Sam Wilson, as the next Captain America, the one obviously I grew up with, my nostalgia comes from Steve Rogers. But I can't wait for kids to grow up with a different Captain America. And that's just so cool to me that they have these two completely different icons that they're making out of the same character. It's just so cool to me. But next up is Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers. Now, this one's a little iffy for me because I hate her writing in Captain Marvel. I think Captain Marvel is a decent movie. I just think that the character itself is written so poorly, but in Endgame, she's just such a badass. So I'm going to put her at good. I think she's a good character. I think there's a lot of room to improve. I'm super hyped for the Marvels, and I'm super hyped for Miss Marvel and all these other projects. And it was just, it's just, I'm excited for her character's future. I just don't really like her at the moment, and I'm excited to see what they can do with her in the future. But next up is Okoye. I think Okoye is a great character. Just her chemistry with Black Panther, the whole Wakandan world. I just think she's a great character overall. Next up is Drax. Now, this one's really disappointing for me because I don't like him in Volume 2. I love the Volume 2 movie itself, but I don't like him in Volume 2. I love him in Guardians 1. I think they butchered him. I'm going to have to just put him at good. A lot of these characters are going to go in good just because they're just good. They're just average. You know, good is an average character. Next up is the Ancient One. I'll put the Ancient One at great. I just feel like I want to see her a little bit more, so I'm going to put her at good. But next up is Doctor Strange. You guys know me. I love Doctor Strange. I'm absolutely in love with the character. Can't wait for Multiverse of Madness. I loved his What If episode, but I don't put the man at best of the best. He's going to be impacting the MCU so much from now on, and he's going to be such a big part of the MCU's future. And I can't wait to see what they do with him. And that's why he's best of the best, in my opinion. I think that he's one of the most underrated characters in the MCU. A lot of people say he's just an egotistical version of Tony Stark with magic. And I agree, and that's why I like him. I love an egotistical character that's arc over time is going to be him learning that to not obviously let his ego take him over. That's what Iron Man did, and he sacrificed himself at the end. That's why I still have faith in the Doctor Strange character, because I think at the end of the day, whenever his character moves on from the MCU, and whether he dies or sacrifices himself or whatever happens to the character, I think at the end of the day, he'll still have a full arc. That's why I don't just consider him an egotistical maniac with magic. But next up is War Machine. Now, I don't hate Don Cheadle. I'm not one of the people that say Terrence Howard should have just played him, but I just think as a character, he's just so meh. I don't really like him. I love Don Cheadle, by the way. I think he's a great actor. I think he's really great in other movies, but overall, I'm just not a fan of him. Next up is Rocket Raccoon. I would put Rocket Raccoon at great. I would put him at best of the best, but I do think there's one Guardians character just above him, so I do want to put him at best of the best, but Rocket is an absolutely great character. He's so much fun. I love his character. Next up is Wasp. I think Wasp is also great. I think Ant-Man and the Wasp are both great characters. I think they both have so much potential in the future of the MCU, and I just can't wait to see where their characters go from here, especially with Kang the Conqueror in Ant-Man 3. Next up is Natalie Portman's character, Jane Foster. She's going to be in Thor Love and Thunder. I can't wait to see her there, but as of now, she's just a meh character. Thor: The Dark World, she was honestly just annoying, but overall, I think she's just a meh character. Next up is Hank Pym. I think he's a good character. Now, personally, I know a lot of people don't like him because they think they butchered Hank Pym from the comics. I've never read the comics, so I really don't care. I'm only thinking about the on-screen one, and I think he's good. I think he could honestly go to great if he has some kind of complete death arc, I guess you could say, in the Ant-Man 3, but overall, I'm excited. Now, next up is Jon Favreau's Happy. I think goes in best of the best. He was the one who started the entire MCU directing the first Iron Man movie. I think he's a great addition, a great thing going into the MCU. He's a long-lasting character. I think he's the longest-lasting character in the MCU now, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm just so excited. I hope he dies in Spider-Man No Way Home, but at the same time, I kind of want him to live, and I kind of want the whole, I kind of want him to be one of those characters that's, he's the only character that's lived throughout the MCU. Technically Pepper Potts, but I don't want Pepper to just keep showing up in the movies randomly, so yeah. Next up is Hawkeye. I think Hawkeye's a good... Actually, I would have to put him at great. No, I'm gonna put him at good. I'm moving Black Widow down at good as well, sorry, because if Hawkeye is not great, then neither is Black Widow, because they're both just as underdeveloped as each other. They're both just both as underutilized. They're both just so poorly used in the MCU. It's just disappointing because their characters have so much potential. And overall, I mean, I'm super hyped for the Hawkeye show. Marvel, please give us a trailer for that damn show. But I'm just so excited to see Hawkeye again. I'm excited to see Jeremy Renner on screen. And apparently in the comics, he's not he's really a funny person. But in the MCU, he's super serious. So hopefully they experiment more with this character in Hawkeye. But nevertheless, I really do like him. Next up is Peggy Carter. I will put her at good as well. Now we've reached the double column for the good tier. I think Peggy Carter is a great character, actually. I think Captain America: The First Avenger is a really underrated first solo movie, and I love her. By the way, I haven't seen Agent Carter, but I do think she's a cool character. I don't really like Captain Carter, I'm gonna be honest. That episode What If was kind of mid to me, but nevertheless, I'm just excited to see Peggy Carter again on the big screen as Captain Carter. She is in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, but yeah. Next up is Odin. I'm gonna put him at meh. I don't really like his character. Next up is Heimdall, R.I.P. my boy, but I think he's a good character. I'm gonna put him at meh. I don't know. He just doesn't compare to these other characters on the good tier, but I think Heimdall's cool. Idris Elba did tease his return, so I'm excited. But next up is Thor Odinson, the GOAT. I think he's best of the best. I mean, that song that plays whenever I think it's called Impossible or something like that, whenever he gets on the bridge scene, the photo that's on screen right now, that is absolutely epic. I just love Thor so much. I love his arc. Thor Ragnarok redeemed him so much. I'm so hyped for Thor Love and Thunder. It's gonna be an absolute banger. But yeah, next up is Agent Coulson. I'm gonna put Coulson just as good just because of his impact in Avengers when he died. I just think his impact is so underrated, but overall I just don't really watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., so I can't really put him at great or best of the best. But next up is Isaiah Bradley. I think Isaiah Bradley's actually a pretty good character just because, I mean, I can't put him on great just because we haven't seen enough of him, I guess, but I hope we see him more in Captain America 4. His stories were so heartbreaking, and it really brought a whole different tone and side to the MCU, in my opinion, and something that they really hadn't covered before. And it's just, I'm excited to see the MCU go in more of a darker tone with the backstories of these characters and showing that not everything is just happy butterflies and smiles and rainbows. There's a really dark side to these stories. Not every hero succeeds. Not every hero is just looked at as a hero to everyone. Just the impact of Isaiah Bradley's character is so big on the MCU, in my opinion, and I really, really hope they explore that more in Captain America 4. Next up is Wanda. As much as I'm internally conflicted because I don't like Wanda stans, I still think Wanda's one of the best characters. I think that she has one of the best MCU arcs. I think that she could honestly become a absolutely goated character in the MCU if she turns into an all-out villain. I just don't really know how they'd reverse that arc because obviously we know Marvel doesn't really keep villains for multiple movies other than Thanos. And so I don't really know how they keep her as a villain, but if she has a villainous arc, because apparently it's rumored that she's going to kill a bunch of people in Multiverse of Madness. So, I mean, I'm just excited to see where her arc goes from here. And as of now, she is the best of best in my opinion. Next up is, oh, I forgot this woman's name. I don't know her name. I'll be honest. I'll put her at bad. I'm gonna be honest. I don't remember her name. I'm not gonna spend too long on it. She's just another generic S.H.I.E.L.D. agent. Don't really like her. Quicksilver, I'm gonna put him at meh just because he's just a meh character gone too soon. He wasn't quick enough. That joke never gets old, but nevertheless, he just wasn't in the MCU that long. He's literally in it for one movie. Don't really like him. Now, here's the thing. Jimmy Woo, I'll put him at best of the best. but I just think that wouldn't be fair to like other characters. You know, Jimmy Woo was just too goated, so I don't want to put him at best of the best because he deserves to be at a tier higher. So I'm just gonna put him at great. I think that his character development is really good throughout the MCU, and I hope we get more from him in the future, whether it's in like an X-Files show, Ant-Man 3, just I hope we get to see him more. So next up on the list is Tom Holland Spider-Man. I'm gonna be honest, I think Tom Holland Spider-Man is the best of the best, just character-wise in the MCU. Just because I don't like the story that they go with, doesn't mean he's not a good character. What he is given as a character, as a high school student, the love interest, the comedy, the rom-coms, that is all great writing in my opinion. It's just not great Spider-Man writing, but it still does put him at the best of the best. Next up is Nebula. I think Nebula is actually a great character. I like Nebula's arc more than Gamora's. I mean, Nebula's arc is literally heartbreaking. She's a villain basically, and then she turns hero basically back to villain, fights Gamora, and then in Endgame she fights herself. I mean, the whole arc is just, I really like it. But next up is Paul Rudd's Ant-Man. I think Paul Rudd's Ant-Man is best of the best. I think he's the funniest MCU character. I think he's going to be one of the most well-written. I think his movies are absolutely awesome, and overall I just can't wait to see him in the MCU more. Next up is Pepper Potts. I'm gonna put Pepper Potts at great. Again, been in the MCU since the very beginning. She's just an awesome character. I honestly love her as a love interest for Iron Man. I think she's a great character, and just that arc of her being his assistant and then them falling in love, and then obviously them having a kid in Endgame, and then Tony dying and all that kind of stuff. It just, everything works so well in my opinion, and I really do like it. And next up is Star-Lord. This is the one Guardians member that I said was above Rocket Raccoon. That's why I'm putting him at best of the best. I see Star-Lord's a great character. I think that Star-Lord's character is just so awesome in the MCU, and obviously like people are like, oh, I hate Star-Lord because he tried to kill Thanos, tried to punch Thanos, blah blah blah. If Thanos killed your girlfriend, bro, you would do the same thing. Let's be real. So yeah, moving on. Next up is Mantis. Again, I think she's in the bad. I think obviously she can read people's minds, but other than that, that's all she does. But next up is Nick Fury. I think he's an absolutely the best character. Now we're on the double tier for the best tiers. So yeah, Nick Fury, I think he's a go-to character. I think he's really great, and I think that I can't wait to see him honestly in the Marvels, and I honestly can't wait to see him more in the future of the MCU, because I know he's going to be in Secret Invasion, and I just hope he keeps playing a big part in the MCU, because I really do like Samuel L. Jackson, and I love his acting as Nick Fury. Next up is the mom from Black Widow. I apologize for not knowing your name, ma'am, but you are a meh character. She's the weakest out of the family in general, but overall, I just really don't like her character. Next up is Tommy and Billy. Again, meh characters. Obviously, I hope we see them grown up in Multiverse of Madness, maybe trying to convince their mom that they're okay. She doesn't need to absolutely obliterate the multiverse, but nevertheless, I think Tommy and Billy were cool characters. I just don't think they're anything crazy. Actually, I'm going to put them at good. I think they were good characters. Next up is Sylvie. I actually think Sylvie's a good character. I don't think that she's like a super great character. I don't think she's on par with like Yondu, Loki, even Rocket or the Wasp, but I do think she's a good character. I really did like her in Loki, and I hope to see her again in season 2. Next up, the GOAT of the MCU, Iron Man, Robert Downey Jr. himself. I'm putting him at the top of the best of the best. Next up is Monica Rambeau. I'm actually really excited for her for the future of the MCU. I'm going to put her at great. I think her character has so much potential. I did think her absorbing the bullets was a little bit random in the MCU and in the finale of WandaVision, but I'm excited for her character's future in the MCU, and overall she's just super cool. Next up is Awkwafina. I think Awkwafina is also a great character. I can't wait to see what her and Simu Liu, or not Awkwafina, sorry, Katie. I think her and Simu Liu's Shang-Chi have a great future in the MCU. Next up is Shang-Chi's sister. I don't know her name, I'll be real. I'm gonna have to put her at good just because I do love her character so much. I had such a fun time with the character in Shang-Chi, but I don't think she's meh. Like, I would put her above like everyone in the meh tier. I would just put her at the bottom of good just because she didn't really get much, like, enough screen time for me to put her at like a top of good. But again, she's at the very bottom of good. She's just not on the scale of meh yet. But next up is Shuri. I think Shuri's a great character. I think she's at like the top half of the great characters. I think she's an absolutely phenomenal character. Next up is the Winter Soldier. I think he's at the very top of the great list. Actually, no. I'm gonna put Winter Soldier at best of the best. I do think that the Winter Soldier has a great arc. I think that the Winter Soldier's writing, I hope that they kind of excel his character a little bit more instead of keeping his a side character. Because even in Falcon Winter Soldier, technically Captain America Winter Soldier, he still was a side character, and I cannot wait for them to finally push the character out of those boundaries of a side character and actually use him to his fullest potential. But next up is Janet. I think her name is Janet, but I'm gonna put her at meh. She's just all right character. I don't have much else to say about her, but yeah. Next up is Valkyrie. I think Valkyrie's actually a really good character. I can't wait to see her more, and I think she's the leader of Asgard now after Endgame, and I think her character is so dope, and I can't wait to see more of her in the MCU. Next up is Vision. I think Vision is an absolutely great character. I love the way they use Vision. I can't wait to see White Vision. I can't wait to see Paul Bettany return. I love Paul Bettany as an actor, and Vision is just such a cool character to me. I love not only the romance with Wanda, but also just his intelligence and how it compares with the other Avengers and the banter between them in Age of Ultron. In my most recent MCU rewatch, I think it was, I rewatched Age of Ultron, and I had such a fun time because I forgot how great Vision's character was. And just like the whole philosophical side of everything is just so cool to me, and I really do love it. But next up is, and finally, is Yelena Belov. I think that's how you pronounce her name. I think she's a great character, man. She's my favorite character in the Black Widow movie, and I'm excited to see her in Hawkeye. I love the post-credit scene of Black Widow. Can't wait to see her in Hawkeye, and I cannot wait to see where they go in the future with this character, as she basically is taking up the mantle of Black Widow. But yeah, guys, that's basically my tier list for the MCU heroes. If you guys want me to do more tier lists, again, hit that like button down below and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any time I upload a new video or I go live. Thank you guys so much for watching. That's it for this video. I'll see you next time. Peace.